Hello, good evening. Prerna, am I audible to you?
Good evening, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Prerna. Yeah, so could you please tell me whether we have started the chapter in the previous session or not? I guess we started the chapter, ratio analysis, right?
Yeah.
And what are the ratios that we have already covered in the previous class?
Debt to equity ratio.
We talked about debt to equity. Okay.
Yeah.
That means we need to cover total
Asset to debt.
proprietary ratio, total asset to debt ratio, and profitability.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyways, just give me 2 minutes. Okay. So both of you, I think I might have given you the question for the homework as well. So first of all, just confirm whether you were able to solve those questions or not. If you have
Yes, sir.
problems, Shiva, do you have any
No,
problem with any question that I gave as a homework?
No, sir.
No problem. All right, that's good. So that means we can straightforward start with a new topic, new ratio. And we already understood till debt to equity ratio, right? So in today's class, we'll be talking about the next variety of ratio, which is the total asset to debt ratio. Okay. So we think we have already wrote the formula for this. Kindly confirm if we already did the formula in the previous session or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So could you please tell me the formula for the total asset to
Total
debt ratio?
divided by debt.
Total asset divided by the debt. And debt here means what?
Non-current liability.
Non-current liability. Okay, so let's start with the question. So we'll start our discussion with this question. Okay, and yeah, in this particular topic, total asset to debt ratio, that means total debt, meaning the non-current liability as well as current. All right. Just a minute, let me check. Even I'm not able to read. Just a second. Sorry. Yeah. So okay. So we'll start with question number 23. And question number 3. It says we need to calculate total asset to debt ratio. We'll first of all write down the formula for the same, which is total asset divided by debt, means total debt. Okay, now let's find out what is already given there in the question. Shareholder fund is there, total debt is given as 3,60,000, current liability we have 40,000. So first of all, let's write down the value of the debt. Debt is given as 3,60,000. So we can write down the value of the debt, 3,60,000. Okay. And apart from this, we have the current liabilities, 40,000, which is of no use as of now. We have to figure out the value of the total asset. So now I'm sure you already know that if we just add the shareholder fund plus the current liability plus non-current liabilities, it is equal to the total asset. Right now, do you understand that? And shareholder fund is already given in the question. Current liability is also there, 40,000. The non-current liability is not given directly, but see, the total debt is sum total of the current and non-current liability. You understand that? Total debt is the sum total of the current liability and the non-current liability. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that means if the current liability is 40,000, then the non-current liability should be 3,20,000. Can we say that? Yes or no? Now totaling it, we will be getting the value of the total asset. It will be 2 lakh and 5,20,000. Understood? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now calculating it, we will be getting the answer as this will be 1.625 is to 1. This is our answer. Right now,
Yes, sir.
if I do understand this, you are not responding today. Everything fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this was question number 23. Try the next question, question number 24. Try, I want you to do it. Done, Prerna?
Yes, I'm done.
Shifa, you're done?
Someone.
Okay. Is that a difficult question? I thought you will be able to do it in just a couple of minutes. Total debt is given, shareholders fund is there, reserve and surplus is there, and the current asset working capital. You want me to solve it for you? Brendan, you got the answer 1.75 is to 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just waiting for Shifa to finish. Shifa, if you're having trouble solving it, just let me know.
Yes, sir. Can you solve it?
Yeah, sure. That's it. Okay, so in this question as well, we need to find out the value. We need to find out the ratio, total debt asset ratio. So we'll first of all write down the formula. Okay, so as per the question, we have to figure out the value of the total asset first of all. So to find out the total asset, what we can do? Total assets can be determined simply by adding the total debt with the shareholder fund, right? Total debt includes the non-current liability and current liability. And if we add that with the shareholder fund, we will get the value of the total liability, or that is also equal to total asset. You understand that? So if it is given as 60, it
Oh, yes, I
was,
got it now.
got it now? Okay, so you can do the rest of the part.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. So that means we can move to the next question right now. Question number 25. Please try this. Question number 25. Both of you, give it a try.
Done, sir.
None got the answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. The question of this chapter is pretty easy. All you need to is basically you need to do is remember the formula. Okay. So let me check if I how many questions. Okay, try this one. Question number 26. Hello, Zainab. Zainab, are you there? Zainab, why do you leave the session in between? You mostly join the session late and you also leave the session early. So is there any specific reason for doing that?
Yes, because today's my network is unstable.
The network is unstable, but most of the time you
Yeah,
don't
today
put
I'm
it
having
like that.
network issues. That's why.
All right, so it is okay for today, but in the previous sessions as well, I've noticed that you mostly join late and leave the session early. So please make sure you don't do this because you won't be able to understand anything. If you join the session late or if you join the session in between or uh, uh, and leave the session early, it would be difficult for you to get a grasp on the subject. All right, so don't make a habit of it. Please try to join the session on time and also try to leave the session when I end the session only. Okay, so make sure you do that.
Okay, sir.
Done, sir.
Shipper, you got the answer?
So 1 minute.
Prerna, you got the correct answer?
Yes, sir. 1.5:1.
Zainab and Shifa, both of you are still doing it, na?
No, sir, done.
Done, okay. So,
Yes, sir, same done.
assuming that you must have got the right answer. Okay, all right. Good job. So that means we can move to the next variety of ratio. I'm showing you the next question. Kindly take the screenshot of this question. This is a homework for you. Take the screenshot.
Done, sir.
Also take the screenshot of question number 28. Both these questions you need to find out the same thing. So let's say forget. Both are kind of practice questions for you. And now we'll start a new variety of ratio, which is proprietary ratio. And the formula we have already wrote in the previous session for it. Let me write that again. I think Zena was not there, so Zena will be able to. Zena can also write that. Formula for the proprietary ratio. This is the third ratio under the solvency ratio, right? If we talk about the chapter, this is the fifth ratio that we are going to cover. And to find out the proprietary ratio, the formula is proprietor's fund divided by total assets. Okay. And proprietor fund here basically means the shareholders fund. Okay. So keeping that in mind, we'll do few questions based on this ratio. We'll start with question number 29. And I'll be solving this for you. You just see how do we actually solve or find out the proprietary ratio. So from the following information, calculate proprietary ratio, share capital, non-current asset, reserve and surplus, current asset is given. So the formula, as per our formula, we need to find out the value of the shareholders fund or the proprietors fund. So as per our question, if we add share capital and the reserve and surplus, we will get the shareholders fund, right? Share capital plus the reserve and surplus divided by total assets. Share capital is 3 lakh and reserve and surplus is 1,80,000. We will divide it by the total asset, adding non-current asset and current asset, we will get the value of the total asset, 13,20,000 to 6 lakh. So totaling this, you'll get 4,80,000 divided by 19,20,000. Right? Any doubts? Everything clear till this point, everyone?
Yes,
So
everything.
by calculating it, we will be getting 0.25 is to 1. This is the answer for this question. Done, everyone? Written this down. Question number 29. Achha, question number 29 is same as the previous one. Question number 30. Please try solving question number 30, all of you.
So I got it.
Or Shifa, you've done it?
Yes, sir.
Got the right answer?
Yeah, 0.70.
What about Zainab and Prerna? Both of you? Still solving it?
Done, sir.
Done. Got the right answer? Any difficulty? Any problem?
No, sir.
Zainab? Okay. Alright, so I'm presuming that Zainab must have done it as well. So with that, I'm moving to the next question. Question number 31. Please try. Please try question number 31.
Done, sir.
Yes, sir, done.
Done,
Done,
sir.
na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I guess the two questions are, in fact, three questions. Huh? Three questions are enough for the proprietary ratio. Now I can give you questions for the homework. Take the screenshot of question number 32. You have to do it in your homework. And
Done, sir.
also take question number 30. Oh, all right. So we have only one question that I can give you as a homework. Anyways, now we'll talk about the interest coverage ratio. Okay. And I'm sure you remember the formula for the interest coverage ratio as well. Any one of you, please tell me what was the formula we wrote for the interest coverage ratio?
A profit before interest and tax by interest on long-term debt.
Yes, that is correct. So interest coverage ratio equals to profit before interest and tax is written as PBIT. Okay. And the interest on long term. See what this ratio indicate? This ratio indicate that whether or not we have sufficient amount of profit available to pay off our long term interest or not. All right. So that in order to just a second. So in order to determine whether we'll be able to pay off the interest on long term loan with ease or not, for that purpose we determine the interest coverage ratio. Formula is very simple. Now, to how does it actually work? How do we use this formula to calculate interest coverage ratio? For that, we'll have to do a question. So let's do question number 33. We start with this question. So it says from the following information, calculate interest coverage ratio. Net profit after tax 4,25,000. Tax is given 75,000, and interest on long term fund is given as 1,25,000. So let me show you how we can solve it. The formula is same. All right. So now the profit is given, I guess. Yeah. Net profit is given. Net profit after tax is given 4,25,000, and tax is 75. Long term interest on long term debt is 1,25,000. First of all, so you have to understand how do we get the profit after tax. See, what happens now? First of all, we get the value of the profit before interest and tax. From profit before interest and tax, first of all, subtract the amount of interest that is payable. All right, and also subtract the amount of tax payable, and then the remaining amount is considered as the profit after tax, which is also known as PAT. PAT. Sometimes we subtract the tax first and then we subtract the interest. It does not matter whether you subtract the interest first or then subtract the tax. That is completely okay. You can do as you wish. All right. So, yeah. So profit before interest and tax minus interest minus tax will be equal to profit after tax. Now, to see in this question, profit before interest and tax is not given. However, in order to find out the interest coverage ratio, we need profit before interest and tax. What is given in the question is that net profit is given 4,25,000. Also, the amount of tax is also given 75,000. Then the amount of interest is also there. Interest on long-term debt is given as 1,25,000. But the profit before interest and tax is missing. So the missing value we can presume it as X, right? So taking it as X, now we can make an equation out of it, and we can obviously find out the value of the X. That will be X minus 1,25,000 minus 75,000. It should be equal to 4,25,000. So totaling 125 plus 75 will be 2 lakh. It is 2 lakh. x minus 2 lakh equals to 4,25,000. So 4,25,000 minus 2 lakh equals to 2,25,000. So we have the value of x is equal to 2,25,000, or profit before interest and tax is equal to 2,25,000. Understood everyone? Is this clear? Yes or no? Now taking this value into the formula, we can write down 2,25,000 here, dividing it by long-term interest 1,25,000, right? And am I making some mistake? Interest coverage ratio as per the question given is 5 times. Huh? And just a second. 125 plus 75 is 2 lakh, and minus 2 lakh. Okay, I think okay. Instead of subtracting it, I have to add, because I'm changing the side of the value from left hand side of the equation. If we transfer the value to the right hand side of the equation, we'll have to add it. So this should be added, and by adding it, we'll get 6,25,000. Right? Now we can put 6,25,000 here, and this will be 5:1. Tell me, got it? Is this clear? Both of you, or in fact, all of you? Is it clear? Yes or no? Okay. Understood it now?
Yes,
And
yes.
all of you have written it?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So that means we can move to the next question. This one is easy. Can you take the screenshot of this question number 34? I'm giving this as a homework to you.
Done, sir.
Done. And also, all right. So I think you can solve this one as well. Yeah. Take the screenshot of this as well.
Done, sir.
And take the screen. I think this is the same question. Question number 37. What do you think you'll be able to solve it? Just give it a read. It says we need to find out interest coverage ratio. 1,000 equity, 8% preference shares, 10% debenture, long-term loan from bank, interest on long-term loan from bank, net profit after tax, and tax is given. I think you'll be able to solve it. Huh? Can we just skip it? Move to the next ratio, or do you want to try it? I think you will be able to solve it. Can you take the screenshot of question number 37? Take the screenshot. All right. So this was all about the solvency ratio, everyone. Okay, this was all about solvency. We did 4 type of ratio under it. We started with the debt to equity ratio in the previous class. Then in today's session, until now we covered 3 ratios: total asset to debt ratio, proprietary ratio, and interest coverage ratio. The question I have given you as a homework, and I would recommend that you must try those questions. All right, it will help you get a good grip on this chapter. Now we will be starting a new variety of ratio, which is the third category of ratio in this chapter, which is called the activity ratio. I'm sure I must have I must have told you about this type of ratio in the in the first session itself. So activity ratio have 4 ratio in it. That's like the solvency ratio. Under activity ratio as well, we have 4 ratios. First of all, it is very important and like very frequently asked in exam. Inventory turnover ratio. Inventory or sometimes also called stock turnover ratio. I want all of you to note this down, everybody. And the formula for determining the inventory turnover ratio or stock turnover ratio is cost of goods sold divided by the average inventory. This is the ratio for finding out the stock turnover. Okay, and always remember that the in case of the activity ratio, answer that we'll be getting is always interpreted in terms of times, not in terms of ratio. Like if we are getting, like for example, if we have this value 25 divided by 5, usually in terms of ratio it is written as 5:1, right? But under the activity ratio, all the ratios are written as in terms of times. It will be rather saying it as 5:1, we'll be calling it as 5 times. All right, if we call active inventory ratio is 5:1, it will be interpreted as 5 times. I hope this is clear. So all the ratio under it is considered as interpreted as times. Time based answer you will be getting. All right, keep that in mind. Anyways, so this is how we'll be calculating inventory turnover ratio. Now the question arises, sir, we are not able to recall how do we actually calculate cost of goods sold. The student, cost of goods sold is also known as COGS. I'm sure you must remember this, COGS. But anyways, if you're not able to recall, let me write the formula for finding out the COGS. COGS or cost of goods sold, if it is not given directly in the question, then it can be determined simply by adding the value, by taking the value of the opening stock, adding the net purchases in it. What do you mean by net purchases? Net purchases means total purchase adjusted after the purchase return. Okay, and we'll add the all direct expenses in it. And apart from this, we will have to subtract the closing stock. By doing this, we'll get the value of the cost of goods sold. Now, this is, I'm not sure whether you remember it or not. I think this is you must have understood or covered this while covering class 11 topic final account, wherein usually student cover this topic cost of goods sold. So you will have to remember the formula for finding out the cost of goods sold itself. Now, sometimes a student also asks us, how do we figure out the value of the average inventory? So average inventory, actually one more thing, sometimes cost of goods sold can also be calculated by subtracting the gross profit out of the net sales only. Or we can alternatively find out the cost of goods sold simply by subtracting the gross profit out of the net sales of the company. Understood? Either this or this, whichever suits you, or depending upon what are the different items given in the question, you can apply the formula. Either you apply the second formula or the first formula to find out the cost of it. Anyways, sometime in the question, average inventory is also not given in the question. So if average inventory is not given, then in that situation you will be applying this formula to find out the average profit. Not the average profit only. Not average profit, average inventory. To find out the average inventory, the formula is very simple. What do? We just take the value of the opening stock. Opening stock, add closing stock in it, and then divide it by done. This is the average inventory. Is it clear, everybody? Is this clear to all of you? Tell me, Manisha, Prerna, Zainab, if this is clear or not. All of you have written this down, yes or no?
Yes, sir. Done.
So can you show
Yeah,
the
I'm
whole
still
thing?
writing.
Can you show, sorry, Shifa, I'm not able to hear you.
So can you please show the whole thing? Like from
I won't
beginning
be able
to
to show the
end.
whole thing because this is the maximum I can zoom out. I can,
Then
for you,
sir,
I
can
can
you show
scroll.
the beginning once again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the main formula, cost of goods sold
Yes,
divided by
sir,
average
done.
inventory. And to find out the cost of goods sold, we have and for the average inventory. Okay. Now let's move to the second variety of ratio under the activity ratio. Next, we have trade receivable turnover ratio. Trade receivable turnover ratio. And that formula is the total net credit sale divided by the average trade receivables. Okay, net credit sale divided by average receivable. Easy. Now, in some cases, you won't be provided with the net credit sale in the question itself. So if you want to figure out the value of the net credit sale, then you may apply this simple formula. Net credit sale can be determined simply by subtracting cash sales and sales return out of total sales. Total sales minus cash sales. All right, and also the sales return. By doing this, we'll get the value of the credit sale. And if the average trade receivable is also not there, then that can also be determined by taking the value of the opening trade receivables adding it with the closing trade receivables and dividing it by. All right, so this is the formula for the average trade receipt. And also, if by chance trade receivable is also not given in the question, if you are not sure what is trade receivable, then let me tell you, trade receivable is the sum total of the debtors plus bills receivable debtors and bills receivable collectively known as the trade receivables. I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir.
So this is all about the basically trade receivables turnover ratio. Formula was net credit sale divided by average trade receipt. Okay. Now the third category, third variety of ratio under this is trade payable turnover ratio. Just like trade receivable, we have trade payable turnover ratio also. Okay, and trade payable turnover ratio is pretty much similar to the trade receivable turnover ratio. Like in this case, we take the value of the net instead of net credit sales, we take the value of the net credit purchases and divide that by average trade pay. Okay. Now, same thing. If by chance you are not provided with the net credit purchases, then how can you determine that? In order to find out the net credit purchases, we can apply the simple formula. We can take the value of the total purchases minus the cash purchases minus the purchase returns. By doing this, we'll be able to get the value of net credit purchase. And also, if the average trade table is not given, what we'll do? So just like the average trade receivable, we'll be adding the value of the opening credit purchases, opening trade table, opening trade table plus closing trade table. Divide by, okay. And if you're wondering how do we determine the value of the trade table, so trade table, just like trade receivables, include the total creditors plus the bills payable. All right, everybody. Everyone understood this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, the last type of last ratio, or the activity ratio, is working capital turnover ratio. Working capital turnover ratio, and we have a formula for this as well, which is net sales. It's just net sales, or sometime if the net sales is not given, you can take the value of the COGS divided by the working capital. All right, and I'm sure you already know the value meaning of the net sales, and you also know the meaning of the working capital. Working capital is simply current asset minus current liability, and COGS we already understood the formula for that. Then Prerna, Shikha, and Zainab, any doubt?
No, sir.
No.
Done.
So that means we can straightforward start with a question. So let's first of all start with an easy question. We'll start the question based on inventory turnover ratio, for which we did the formula cost of goods sold divided by average inventory right now. So this is the question number 38. Question number 38. The question requires us to find out what? It requires inventory turnover ratio. Before starting anything, let's just find out the write down the formula for the same. Inventory turnover ratio. Formula is very simple. It is cost of goods sold divided by, tell me, cost of goods sold divided by the, tell me anyone, cost of goods sold divided by what?
Average
Average.
inventory.
Now see, what is already given in the question. Cost of revenue from operating is given, operations is given, and in bracket it also says that this is the cost of goods sold. So the first item in the question is cost of goods sold that we require as per our formula 9. And the average inventory, determine the average inventory. We are provided with the inventory at the beginning and inventory at the end. So to find out the average inventory, what we'll do will simply total it and divide it by 2. So 250 plus 350 equals to 6 lakh, right? And 6 divided by 2 will be 3 lakh. So that means ratio will be 3 times. Average inventory turnover ratio is 3 times. Understood? Is it clear? Please confirm if this is clear or not.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then do question number 39 and also do question number 40, question number 41, question number 42. All these questions are based on inventory turnover ratio. And I want you to at least try 2-3 questions based on this concept. Okay, please solve this. Everyone, please solve question number 40. And after this, I'll give you a few more questions to try. I don't have to solve these questions because these questions are too easy. I think you will be able to solve them on your own, even without my help. But if you are having some difficulty with any question, I will be helping you with that. Okay, so let's quickly solve question number 39.
Done, sir.
Then Shifa and Zainab as well.
Yes,
Shifa,
sir.
you should. Okay, good. Shifa, you should solving it.
No, sir, done.
Done. No? Okay, then so I'm giving you next question. Try this one. Question number 40. Now this time, see, gross profit is given. Gross profit ratio is 34. So this one is little, you have to basically, it's comparatively difficult than the previous one. Not that difficult, but I think you might have some problem. But just give it a try. Okay, so gross profit is given as 30%, and if it is nothing given in the question, then you can simply presume that it is 30% of the net sales. It is an easy question. I don't think you will be having any problem. Done, students. Prerna, Chita, Zainab. Anyone need help?
Done, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chita,
Done.
your status. Zainab.
Yes, sir. Done.
Done. Okay. All right. So we have more similar question based on the inventory turnover ratio. And I wanted to give all those questions as a homework to you because they are easy and I'm sure you will be able to do those questions. So kindly take the screenshot of it. Question number 41. And the time that we have is I don't think we'll be able to cover a new ratio. We'll talk about the next ratios in the next class only. All right, but I'm obviously giving you a few questions for the homework. Take the screenshot question number 41. Also take question number 42. Also take the screenshot of question number 43. These are all similar questions, and in the good thing is that you already have the answer of all the questions there on screen. So when you try it, you will be, if you are having a different answer, you will surely know that you're committing some mistake. So obviously, you can ask me in the next class if you have any difficulty solving any question. Take question number 44. And one more question. Question number 45. Oh, okay. So we have only till question number 44. The inventory ratio questions are till question number 44 only. Okay. Anyways, we'll talk about the next variety of ratio in the next class, which is trade receivable turnover. Okay, but this is it for today's session. Zainab, Prerna, and Shifa will discuss more about the chapter and few more ratios in the next session. Till then, take care.
Sir, I wanted to ask a few doubts.
Hmm.
I
Those
just
doubts.
got a practical worksheet
Uh-huh.
for exams. So
No
can you
problem.
help me with the questions? It's for this chapter.
Yeah, I'll surely do that. So could you please share the sheet with me so that I can look at your sheet and
Yes,
I
sir.
can get to the question once, and then I'll help you with that in the next section if it is okay for you.
Yes, sir. Also, can you schedule a class tomorrow for debentures?
You want an extra session tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, let me just just a minute. We have a class at 8:30 till 10 o'clock. All right. So will it be possible for you to attend the session at 7 o'clock? 7, I'm telling
Yes,
you
sir.
as per the India timing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you are comfortable with that, na?
Yes, sir.
So just do one thing. Just drop a message to your counselor. Tell him to arrange a session, an extra class for you tomorrow
Okay, sir.
at 7 as per India time, IST.
Okay,
And
sir.
obviously they'll inform you. I'll get the link, and I'll. Okay.
Yes, sir.